Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And I'm here to look at the energetic balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find these energies in, we can get that reflected back to us in our outside world. So we can glean people in our real lives, but really we're just looking at our own energy. And so if we want to see changes in our environment, changes in our interactions, we have to make changes in ourselves. So I have a new setup because my old setup was really not conducive for making music. It worked for tarot, although it was pretty cramped. It was overwhelming. And so I switched things around. So we're getting this new perspective, which is kind of interesting to bring to the reading. It's, of course, not sunny today. So we're getting like a nice, soft, like cloudy light going on. But I don't know, like, if the sun comes in on a regular day, if I'm just going to be completely washed out. So we'll have to find out from this angle. But hello, good morning. I shuffled. It was weird because I had a new setup and like I started the thing and it wasn't time lapsed at first. And then I caught it, fixed it, tried to use TikTok. TikTok is hard to use, I guess. I don't know. Like, I could not, I was just like, okay, I'm too frustrated to do this right now. So, we did have two songs. We had Between the Bars by Elliott Smith for Divine Masculine, which is another song about drinking. I can't with this masculine. And then the Divine Feminine energy had Time After Time, but it was not Cyndi Lauper, my queen, but Ella Fitzgerald's rendition of that song. And it's like, I'm so lucky to love you, kind of a thing. Interesting mood overall. And both of them had the same amount of cards showing, and they both kept the last thing on their mind from me. So I think we're just going to start with Divine Feminine today because we chose Divine Masculine yesterday. They're keeping this pattern of revealing exactly the same amount of information, like reciprocal amount of information. Okay. Coffee. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for Divine Feminine. The Two of Swords. And I love the light because we can actually see the cards. And the Prisma Visions isn't going to be so dark anymore. Like, love this. Okay. So, Two of Swords. It's in its reversal. This is a card that is normally about a standstill, having to make a choice that you don't want to make because either option is like not so great. And, on the one hand, you might be gaining something, on the other hand, you're likely to lose something. So it's uncomfortable, it's not the greatest place to be. But Divine Feminine has released this energy. So the standstill that she felt she was in, she's finally decided to make a motion. And that motion could be potentially away from the thing that she was originally trying to call in because she's finding that her focus on it, her energy on it is really distracting her and she's not gaining anything at all. She was in a standstill, just in stuck energy. She could be moving towards the thing that it is that she desired. So by choosing not to focus anymore on this one thing and instead focusing on something else in her life too. But regardless, she's not feeling like she personally is stuck anymore. She's made a decision she didn't really want to make, and she's just had to do it and just kind of like take care of her own needs. Niggling thanks to my ego is like, the niggling thing in her headspace is the Six of Cups. And ooh, it's pretty bright from the light. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about this lighting. The Six of Cups, anyway, which is about reunion. You can see here in the center, there's the divine masculine and divine feminine energy coming together. This is about reciprocity, of course, in terms of feeling and adoration, but it's also in terms of nostalgia, reflection, and feeling benevolent the OG imagery has a divine masculine energy giving to like a cup with a flower in it to a youthful, like an inner child, divine feminine energy. So there's a paternal energy there or maternal nurturing, but there's I mean, it's about this reunion. It's about wanting to come together with the thing that she feels she's in separation from for sure. It's it might be like I'm getting that the choice that she made yeah. It looks like she might not be willing to wait for the reunion based on the rest of the spread. She's choosing herself. She's choosing not to just put her whole life on hold. The first thing on her mind is the Two of Wands in its reversal. So she's chafing a little bit at the twin flame journey because this card definitely has that element in it. And it's about waiting, it's about asking for something and waiting for it to come to you and not knowing exactly how it's going to arrive, the trajectory of it coming to you, and but putting your faith, putting your trust, knowing that you've done all that you could possibly do to bring this to you. And then waiting, not sure what's happening until you get to the Three of Wands where you start to see the pieces come together and you can trust that the Four of Wands is coming. So I think this divine feminine, there's two different things happening. And this has been true for the last couple of weeks, I think, where we've had this division in the collective. There's this one sense I'm getting that some divine feminines have chosen themselves despite the reunion. They've given themselves reciprocity within themselves by choosing themselves and choosing to leave the twin flame journey, like just choosing not to try to manifest this twin at this time, and instead choosing their own happiness, because that's the next card that is up. There is another part of the collective that has chosen the reunion, chosen to trust in the twin flame journey. And even though they don't know where they're going, they believe that they're heading towards their happiness. So that's why there's those two different segments. Both of these divine feminines have done this piece of this puzzle. The Sun card is obviously very auspicious when you get it in any reading at all. It's spiritual fulfillment and happiness and illumination and things coming to light. Like, it's a gorgeous energy. It's playfulness. It's what do I want to say? It's a revelry, kind of like that Prisma Visions card. And this is followed by the King of Pentacles in reverse. So whether the divine feminines who have chosen not to do the twin flame thing right now or not choose their flame, just be like, okay, y'all got a lot of healing to do. And I got my own thing happening. And this is really cramping my style. And I need to have my needs met. And you can't meet them now. And that's chill. But I'm not waiting around for the reunion. It's in the back of my mind. I would like for it to happen, but I'm over it. I'm not focused on a specific iteration of this divine masculine. I just want an energy that matches me, that's really going to be able to meet me where I'm at and maybe not trigger me so fucking much. So there's that. And then there's the divine feminine energy that's chosen to trust in the twin flame journey, really hold on to that reunion in the back of their mind. I know it's coming. I don't know when. I'm going to be happy anyway. I'm going to release my attachment to the specific manifestation and just be open. But I have that reunion in the back of my mind. I know its potential. I know its possibility. So that's the two different energies I'm feeling. Both of them, though, have done the work of, or are doing the work currently, of releasing the attachment to outcomes or expectations about what physical manifestation is going to arrive. Hang on, my kidlet just texted me. I'm doing a live reading. I should send him a video. Maybe he'll join. Anyway, so King of Pentacles in reverse, releasing the attachment to the specific iteration of the divine masculine so they can be happy. This process of not being attached to outcome, not having an expectation of what is going to happen, helps them get out of this energy. The Five of Wands, but this is in its reversal. So it's helping them become unstuck. Unstick. I don't know what I was going to say. Unstick, I guess. Stop fighting themselves. Stop fighting against the twin flame journey. And there's those in here in this collective that are in both, they're choosing, both feminines are choosing themselves to honor themselves, whether they're preparing for reunion or not, or choosing not to worry about it anymore. Regardless of what has happened, they've made a choice. They've decided to choose themselves. And they're both not willing, like it's time to stop fighting myself kind of a feeling. Both of those in the collective are just not going to fight it anymore. They're not going to fight against that masculine energy. They're not going to try to bring it in. They're just not going to fight it. The next card, there's a lot of wands here. Jeez. The next card is the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this momentum, this motion forward, this is slowed down, and the messages that were expected and the communication that is needed isn't here. It's not here. And this is what's clarifying the sun. So it's so interesting because this divine feminine, despite not seeing or hearing these messages, despite the motion forward really being slowed down, she's still feeling happiness. And she kind of doesn't really understand it. There's sort of an element of like, wait, I don't really understand. Because like before, everything was so clear. When shit was bad, it was bad. And when it was good, it was good. And I just knew what was happening. And now I have this weird superpower where I don't get what I want. And somehow I'm still happy and I'm still enlightened. And I still have the ability to choose myself and make sure I'm looking out for myself and try to set healthy boundaries and try to work on myself, like no matter what. So she's really achieved, I mean, that's a big deal for her to be able to laugh. She'll be sad sometimes. She'll be upset or worried about the journey, but she has these friendships. She has these, she's made such progress in expanding and really coming into her potential and her power that she can have this turmoil in her headspace and still hold it together and be excited about what's coming. And the last card is the Five of Swords. And so she's defeated. She's defeated. She's defeated by the specific iteration of the divine masculine, this King of Pentacles energy, because remember, this is an energy of a 3D manifestation of a divine masculine energy. Provider, protector. In this case, he's hoarding from her. He's withholding information. He's withholding feelings, potentially resources, opportunities. He's withholding. And she doesn't know why. That's why the Two of Wands is in reverse. She's like, I don't know why. I don't understand where we're going or why any of this is happening. I understand that it's for my own benefit and my own happiness. But I don't understand why he's withholding what he's withholding. But I just want to stop fighting. I don't want to fight anymore. Like that Five of Wands energy in reverse. I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting against the slowing down of the momentum. I'm not fighting against the lack of clear communication. I'm done. And that's why there's that energy of like, you know what? I choose myself. I choose my happiness. That's all I can do because I have no control. I don't want to be in an emotionally manipulative state with people anymore. So I don't want to have like a back and forth situation going on with this divine masculine anymore. So I'm just going to disengage and I'm just going to choose myself and do my thing and like let divine masculine do divine masculine's thing and we're good. And the top of the deck overall feeling of the heart space is the Five of Cups in reverse because she's not sad. She has some sadness, but she believes in the Two Cups, whether it's the collective that believes in the reunion or the one that's believing that there's going to be an appropriate match that's not the person that the iteration that they're leaving behind. She's really released the sadness about it and feels optimistic. And that's why we've got the Sun card in her headspace. She's like, there's amazing stuff that's about to happen to me. I'm going places. I'm doing things, right? From my personal experience, the reason I switched my whole room around is because I'm about to complete my record. Like, that's all I'm going to work on. I'm not going to work on other stuff right now. I'm not going to do my workshop. I'm just going to finish my record because that's what I've wanted to do for my whole life. So I'm going to do it. And I made it easy to do that. Right? So she's got that. She's got like, you know what? I've got things. I'm excited about. I'm optimistic. I'm positive. I believe in myself and what I'm capable of on my own, in my own happiness. I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing not to be sad. I'm choosing to hold out from attracting just really exciting, beautiful energy. And the niggling feeling is the Seven of Pentacles. I've planted seeds. They're going to bloom. This is a card of winter. And then there's this light coming in and this color that's starting to come in. And you have the feeling of spring that's going to happen. So she's patient. She's patient. And the patience is in regards to the reunion. Whether it be with the divine masculine she thought, or the one that is really the match to her energy. She's patient. The first thing in her heart space is the Lover's card in reverse. And it's clarifying the Two of Wands in reverse. And so there's those two collectives. There are those that have chosen to walk away from a relationship that they wanted to have. To just forget about it and move on and call in a match to their energy. That's one collective. There's another collective that's choosing to believe in the reunion and feeling the twin flame journey and not really being sure about where they're going, but being happy anyway. And just feeling like there's a delay and there's a pause for the moment as healing is being done, but they're not going to fight it. They're not going to fight the isolation or the separation. They're just going to let it happen. They're just going to let it happen and they're going to trust that the right energy is coming. So two different energies, same feeling. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. And this is what is clarifying happiness. So that's a real world offer. So Divine Feminine is making this offer to herself, right? She's choosing herself. So she's like, all right, I've been holding all of this love, all of this attention, all of this focus, single-minded focus on a divine masculine iteration, this one specific manifestation of this energy, this one person, this one individual. That has been my happiness for a long time, focusing on that, feeling like, oh, he loves me, having the drama back and forth. That felt good. It was comfortable. It was familiar. And I let that be my happiness. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for my real world offer. And then in my cycle was I would wait for it, depressed. And then I would wait for it again and it wouldn't come and I would be depressed. And no. Choose to make an offer to myself. I choose attention, meticulousness, passion, intensity, creativity. Everything I was feeding to that iteration of the divine masculine to try to build that energy up so that they could feel good enough to approach me or whatever was going on. I'm not waiting for the offer anymore. I'm giving myself the love, the attention, the focus. High Priestess. Instead of this material world king, I will trust in myself. Instead of trusting in the specific manifestation to fill me up, I will seek fulfillment for myself. I will listen to my intuition. This is a psychic divine feminine in balance. Her divine masculine and divine feminine energy is really balanced within herself to be able to be in her high priestess energy. And she's trusting in herself and not in material manifestations, paternal figures, outside opinions, external validation. She doesn't care. She's going to be who she is. I finished Vanderpump Rules, then I finished OC Housewives, and now I'm on Beverly Hills Housewives, catching up with the seasons I missed. Erika Jayne is the ultimate. She does not give a fuck. She is a super high priestess. At least her character is. I don't know what she's really like, but her character is like, she knows who she is. She's very grounded in her sense of self. She's a high priestess bitch. Six of Cups in union with her headspace. She's not fighting against it. She's not fighting against it. She's just allowing it to happen. The reunion, coming together. She's not fighting against her memories about the past. She's seeing the whole picture. She's not just seeing the sun and the light and all the cozy, fluffy feelings. She's seeing the winter. She's seeing the times of separation and isolation. She's seeing struggle. But she's seeing these two parts of self coming together and reuniting and ending the fight and coming unstuck and not fighting against each other anymore. And then he's back. The King of Swords. Clarifying the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is who's not speaking. This is the motion that has been slowed down. This is the one who's slowing down the momentum. The divine feminines in the collective that are trusting in the timing, that are trusting in the reunion, they have an understanding that the King of Swords has his reasons that are logical, rational, in their integrity, strategic, for not sending specific messages at this time. I mean, yesterday, divine masculine was commanded to write instead of plagiarizing other words, writing, preserving information. And so there's a sense here that the messages, that the form of messages that came before, divine feminine is understanding that there's a strategy here and now not receiving messages from him. This is also, of course, about her own energy, which is ready to be strategic, powerful, really clear, seeing the truth about herself, seeing how she slows herself down, just like divine masculine slowed the roll on them coming together, right? She slows herself down. She halts her motion and momentum by not following through with strategy and plans. by just being real loosey-goosey and kind of firing at will. No chance of hitting the target because there's no preparation. There's no, when you're trying to aim at a target, you have to visualize hitting it, but you have to see. You can't close your eyes and hope you do it. You have to see the target. You have to see clearly what you're looking at. You have to set it up. You have to actually look. And Divine Feminine does a lot of like visualizing, hitting the target and then closing your eyes and firing. There's a little bit of luck in that. You might hit it. You could. But you would be probably very likely to hit it if you look at it clearly. If you know the rules, if you know how to handle the bow or whatever it is you're shooting with, the gun, I don't know what you're shooting with. Probably guns if you're in America. You got to set up for the shot. You got to prepare, right? So she's needing to bring this energy to herself. She slows herself down by not having a plan. Then she shoots, looks up, oh, I was way off because I didn't set up for that shot. Final thing in her heart space, the Hierophant, which is clarifying the Five of Swords. This is what's defeating her. She's defeated by these higher lessons. She's defeated by some of the limiting beliefs that are still lingering here. There are those in the collective that feel that this because this is a card about marriage, and their desires about it, they feel defeated and like they won't get to this. And then others that are in some kind of past legal contracts, either they have gone through divorce or something and they're feeling defeated by having had that experience, or they're having like legal issues regarding it. It could be about signing contracts, defeated and just finally having to sign, so that's Divine Feminine. It's very mature energy, Divine Feminine. It's not easy to look at, but it's very mature. So good for you. All right, Divine Masculine. Let us look at you, sir. You are getting top of the deck, forefront of the mind. 7 of Cups. So you have a lot of options. You have a lot of potential options right now, a lot of things swirling around you, a lot of fantasies and ideas that you created, and you're sort of at their mercy right now. You're at the mercy of the fantasy world you created. It's like you projected this image and now you're at its mercy because you have to deliver in some way, and you're feeling like you don't know how, like you're kind of confused. You're like made all these promises that were based on all these castles in the sky, and now I don't know exactly what I can really bring forward, and I'm confused about how to go forward at all. And I was so overwhelmed by feelings. That's the other aspect of this card too. Like this is not a divine masculine energy that feels super comfortable with a whole lot of cups. And he's got all of these feelings swirling around in regards to the divine masculine, divine feminine union. So that's at the forefront of his mind. So he's not comfortable. There's no way he feels comfortable in that energy. It's not his favorite. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is Judgment in its reversal. And this is with the Cosmic Tarot. So this card always reminds me of Fantastic Planet, that animation, which is so good. Anyway, he's judging himself pretty harshly for having created a fantasy with that 7 of Cups energy that he couldn't possibly deliver on. And then being afraid and uncertain that divine feminine gets that, like he's not sure. He's like, listen, this is I have created this persona, like this public persona, and I've created this idea about what that is, but that's not been the truth. And I just don't know if divine feminine is going to accept me. Is if she, I don't know if she's going to judge me for the reality of myself, or for the fact that I like made promises I can't keep and I didn't mean to. It was just like I was imagining what could happen. I was imagining what could be, and I was like using other, like I was using, I don't know, like some kind of way to convey it that made it seem where it wasn't clear. So he's just feeling this harsh judgment towards himself. He's also seeking that absolution. He just really wants divine feminine to forgive him for being confused, uncertain, overwhelmed, stuck in fantasy. He's just like, I just need her to forgive me. The first thing on his mind is this Eight of Swords energy in reverse. So, and the Eight of Swords in the Cosmic Tarot is the couple that's not facing each other, but they're there together, and there are these swords around them that are protecting them, but they're right there. All they have to do is just turn around and they can be together. So divine masculine, just thinking about this in relationship to the next card on the other side of it, but divine masculine is, he's releasing the energy of protecting himself from his overwhelming emotions. His past energy is that when he feels overwhelmed, he will shift into protective mode and and because of that, it will sabotage his potential to move forward. But he's working very hard to not go into this energy. He doesn't want to protect himself from the feelings. He just wants to feel them. He doesn't want to judge himself for having these feelings either. The next thing is the Wheel of Fortune. But it's in its reversal because this divine masculine does not like this timeline. He does not like this feeling of being bound to his destiny or bound to his fate. He wants to make a change. He doesn't want to protect himself. He wants to shift that energy and stop doing that and walk away. Eight of Cups will not leave the reading this week. Walk away from these behaviors which have not served him. So this is very, we've got Seven of Cups moving into the Eight of Cups. So we see progress being made, being overwhelmed and confused, having too many choices, having some things that are wonderful and a lot more things that are really not okay, not in alignment, and having to walk away from everything in order to go towards your higher calling. And in this case, this divine masculine, when he makes this choice to come towards divine feminine, we saw yesterday his concern about truly wounding others. So for him, this has been such a difficult process. But we see him in the Eight of Cups energy. We see him having reflected upon the success and the poison and decided that he must walk away from that. And this Prince of Pentacles energy, which is Knight of Pentacles energy from the Cosmic Tarot, in its reversal, suggests that he's finally speeding up this process, that he's leaving behind this slow-moving energy. He did it. He's slowly and steadily built up this solid offer divine feminine is holding on to in that heart space, that Ace of Pentacles. That is the pentacle that the Knight is carrying. But he's ready now, instead of moving so slowly towards divine feminine, which has been this way of protecting himself. We saw that yesterday. That controlling energy, which, like, if I do this methodically, if I plod forward, if I plan for every single detail, if I make sure that I've got every, T crossed and I dotted, whatever, then we'll be good. And how that was this self protective behavior that really slowed down the process of actually manifesting the thing that divine masculine desires. But he's no longer in the slow moving Knight of Pentacles energy. He's in this King of Pentacles energy. This has been in the readings too. He feels his worthiness. He feels he's the provider. He feels he's the protector. He's abundant. He's creative. He hoards his emotions. He's focused on the material. Then, of course, mirrored in divine feminine's headspace. So it's a specific iteration of this divine masculine we're seeing. And it's clarifying this Wheel of Fortune card in its reversal. He wants to be the master of this fortune. He wants to be the master of his fate and his destiny. And he wants to be in control of it. He wants to manage it. He wants to make sure he puts some of it away for later, for security. Like, he's not completely trusting in destiny. He feels he needs to do things to protect it, protect himself, protect his future. But he's not in the slow moving energy anymore. He's here, he's in his worthiness, he's in his power. And this is what he's walking away from. The Seven of Swords energy. But not yet. Because it's not reversed. He has to maintain silence. He has to keep a mask on because of the strategy that he's implementing. But he's in his worthiness, and this is what he wants to walk away from. He doesn't want to hide anymore. He doesn't want to be secretive, strategic, sly, manipulative. He wants to walk away from that energy of hiding. Yesterday was all about coming into the light. The star appeared in so many variations. It was shocking. All right. Top of the deck for his heart space. The Hermit. Oh, this couple. I just want to say this is really appropriate Mercury in retrograde, like, kind of energy. Things don't work that well during Mercury in retrograde. Technical things and communication, and it's a tumultuous time. You can have conversations. You can do anything. You can do anything you would do at any other time of the year during Mercury in retrograde. But you're just dealing with an energy that's focused on issues with communication. It brings up wounds in regards to that. It can be a time of going within in general. So this really tracks with that energy. And for this divine masculine who's feeling like, overwhelmed by these feelings and at the mercy of his heart space, he's needed to go within and soul search. He's also keeping this focus on this moon, because for this divine couple, the moon is the symbol for them. It's here too, in the Seven of Swords energy. He's isolating and hidden. He's remaining hidden and isolated from divine feminine. He doesn't want to burden her with his issues. This is such a big thing. He's like, I've already hurt her so much because I wasn't ready. And I don't want to burden her with any more. So I'm just going to be quiet and silent and stay hidden and strategize and try to master my fortune again with my worthiness energy and trust in that. And I'm going to get moving. I'm not going to be in this slow moving energy anymore. I'm going to fucking get moving and prove to myself that I can do what it is that I want to do. because the niggling thing in his heart space is strength. So his pride and his ego are under his control. And he's believing and trusting in the strength of the connection. He feels strong enough to withstand this absolution, the harsh judgment, the criticism he might receive from the outside world, from divine feminine. He's really powerful right now. He's fighting off, there's a bunch of lions behind, it's a pride of lions, and they're behind this lion in the front, and then there's like a silhouetted individual behind them. So I think that there's a lot of energy and they're all open and roaring, and he's roaring back. And I think he's having to be strong against these opposing voices, whether it's his own fears and worries and anxieties, and then they're reflected back to him. But there's energy that he's had to be strong to withstand. And then we have the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man in reverse is clarifying the Eight of Swords in reverse. So just trying to think about. I think the divine masculine is resisting surrender a little bit, because we've got the Eight of Swords in reverse, and we've got Hanged Man, which is about surrendering to the divine and gaining perspective. Either that or he has done that. So there could be those in the collective that are resisting, but he's going within and soul searching. So I actually don't think it could be about that. But there's a resistance to being in the pause energy for sure, because I feel resistance when I'm thinking and trying to talk about this card. It's like, it's also followed up by a card of resistance. So he's had to surrender to the divine. He's had to gain perspective about what it is that he's doing to protect himself and how he's been fighting against himself. There's Five of Wands energy, mirroring divine feminine's Five of Wands, where she's coming unstuck by releasing this twin flame journey in some way, whether that's like the focus and fixation on it or the actual twin she was trying to manifest. But whatever it is, she's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not focusing on it anymore. When I listen to the readings, I'm really and truly going to listen to them. I just saw 4222. I am really and truly going to listen to them as what their intention is. This is my energy. This is divine masculine heart space, but it is my energy. And divine feminine heart space is also my energy. And I'm really just going to look at myself this way. I'm not going to let this hold me back anymore. I'm not going to be seeking my twin. I'm going to let my twin find me. That's the divine feminine energy. That's her feeling of that Five of Wands coming unstuck. Divine masculine's Five of Wands is clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So we've got resistance from divine masculine. Divine feminine, she stopped fighting and accepted defeat. She's like, I can't control this, so I'm not going to try, right? Not going to try. There's only so much I can control. You know what I can control? I can control how many hours a day I sit over here in my studio and work in it. I can control what pieces of gear I buy for it so that I can make it function and flow properly. I can control, how often I'm actually taking care of myself and doing things for myself. Those are the things I can control. Can I control another person? No. Do I want to? No, I don't really. No. I don't want that. I don't like being controlled. I hate that. That was why I left my last relationship. So I don't want to do that to someone else. So I can't control it. I surrender. I surrender to my intuition. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to try to make anything happen anymore, except for the things I can do. Wow, what a concept. Yeah, good. Divine masculine? Not so much. He's stuck because he can't master his fortune. He's stuck because he's like, no matter what I do, it won't work. Like, I can't get it to work. I don't know why. I can't get what I want, but I keep trying, right? He's got to let go. He's got to surrender to his fortune. He doesn't want to. He's fighting against it because he's afraid. He's afraid. He doesn't trust that his fortune is leading him to a better place. He's also reflecting when he did surrender and get perspective about this stuck energy. He's realizing this. He's realizing he's fighting against his destiny. And that he did that with this Knight of Wands energy in reverse. And I just said to Grace Strega that I hadn't seen it in a while. And then, whoop, there it came back for me. I was like, oh, there it is. Knight of Wands, inconsistent, sexually charged, superficial, it's passionate, it's intense, no plan, no strategy, nothing. Didn't serve him, walked away from it. He's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to block. I'm not going to fight divine feminine energy. I'm not going to block this union. I'm not going to fight against my fortune anymore, because when I did that, it caused so much trouble between me and divine feminine, and I just don't want to engage in that behavior anymore. So he's walking away from that with the hopes of unsticking and unblocking so that he can see this realized. The slow moving energy, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, is clarified by the Seven of Cups in reverse. And I told you, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that feeling. We've got the headspace overwhelmed by all of those emotions, not sure what to do, so many ideas, all this fantasy, and at its mercy. The Seven of Cups for the Prisma visions is equally as overwhelming, and there's temptation in the center of it. Kundalini energy too. Overwhelmed. So he's choosing not to be at this mercy of overwhelmment anymore, not to be lost in confusion, and instead bring that pentacle, instead of withholding it and not bringing it forward, he wants to bring it forward. But that chariot, that pesky chariot, it is in reverse, clarifying that Five of Wands, that stuck energy. There's no motion. This King of Pentacles has halted the chariot. And the same position for divine feminine side is the King of Swords and the Eight of Wands in reverse. Same meaning. And look at that. Head, and this is heart for divine feminine. Heart, and this is head for divine feminine. So it's like the opposite. Same meaning. This King of Swords, in his iciness, in his aloofness, in his strategy, has halted the motion forward toward divine feminine, withholding messages, whatever. Divine masculine, in this withholding energy of the King of Pentacles, has stopped the motion forward towards divine feminine. And you know what? That's the choice he made. Because if we look at this, we could say, okay, he's moving. Now he's coming out of the Knight of Pentacles energy, and he's no longer in that slow moving energy, which initially made sense when we were reading it. But then when we look at his heart space, what we're seeing is like, actually, no. He's choosing to withhold the pentacle completely. He's keeping up for himself to satisfy his ego, because his ego is afraid of giving it to divine feminine. There it is. The fear of divine feminine energy. Wow. So he's withholding it. This is clarified by the fucking Seven of Swords. So he's completely hiding, masking, staying in the darkness, withholding, staying in 5D energy because he's afraid to give the offer. Super. Love that for you, Divine Masculine. My ego is not triggered at all. Okay. But honestly, my Divine Feminine is like, okay, good for you. I'm going to go do my shit though, right? All right. Divine Feminine, let's look at your oracles. You got a bunch of them you probably need after hearing that. Divine Masculine spread. Love that for him. Stay hidden, bro. Let me know how that goes for you. So triggered. Oh my God. Wait, I lost a card. Okay. All right, Divine Feminine, you are in your servant energy, the light attributes of it. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Aren't you the sweetest? You've released the shadow attributes, which is using lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. I am so drawn to that part of this card. Yes, you're serving others with a light, free and loving heart, but you're serving yourself with a free and loving heart, and you're not using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward, or the lack of love, or the lack of reciprocity, or the lack of messages, or whatever you're lacking. You're not using that as an excuse not to move forward. It's when I rearranged my space, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to spend X amount on a Bluetooth keyboard and a trackpad. Totally. But I can, and I'm going to. I'm not going to let this like fear that I'm not going to have enough keep me from making more. That's so dumb. So you're in that energy. You're in the light of that energy. You're also in the light attributes of the healer, which is a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to help transform pain into healing. So you're very much in your healing energy. You are healing others on a daily basis. You are healing yourself. You are committed and dedicated to that. So you are doing service as a healer, which is beautiful. St. Anthony is here to tell you found it. And I wondered when he was going to come because I had lost my lion ring. These two guys I usually wear all the time. I couldn't find them anywhere. And then they were literally like right on the table behind this little, I have like a little bowl that I keep different things with that are like, I don't know, talismans, I guess, for my readings. Mostly things people give me. My followers will give me little things and I'll keep them there. But I had them like in that bowl and couldn't find them. I was like, where? And then finally I said a St. Anthony prayer. And within like 10 minutes, I pulled the bowl and it was right there behind it. And I was like, no, I moved it. Like, I definitely picked the bowl. I wasn't like, oh, where's my ring? And didn't look around the bowl. I was like, okay, thank you, St. Anthony. You don't know what that was about. But, like, there's my ring, though. Reunited again with my little Tyrion Lannister lion ring. Okay, anyway. So, you found it. You were seeking something. This was emphasized, too. So, you were seeking something that was lost. And you found it. And I think what it is yourself. Because in your side of the reading, you were like, listen, I don't know what Divine Masculine is going to do. And clearly what he's going to do looks like what he usually does. So I'm Gucci. I'm choosing me. I found it. I found what makes me happy, right? Because you had in your head and heart with all this energy of like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But what I do know is that I can make myself happy. Really happy. I know how to do that better than anyone else. Don't you forget about it, okay? I got that handled, right? I know how to do that. I hope you do. If you don't, you better learn. Your guardian angel is here again to tell you to wake the fuck up. You're asleep. You're sleeping on the job, or you haven't been sleeping at all and you need a lot more sleep. Find your camp. Are you in this camp or are you in that camp? I'm in the like, all right, bitch, wake up, do what you need to do. You're sleeping so much. I had a little moment last night before I went to sleep of being like, will I be able to sleep? I was pretty upset last night for a little bit. This Mercury is like tossing me around like it's bitch. It's like throwing me against the wall and picking me up again. And then I'm like, oh, it's gone. It's going to be fine. And then like it like rains down something on my head. Like, all day from this retrograde shit. But yeah, whatever camp you're in, either you've been sleeping a lot and it's time for you to really start to get this energy moving, to have your awakening. You're not fully awakened to your purpose. Or you've really been having a lot of sleeplessness and you really need rest. You need to give yourself rest or not be. There's also a feeling there of not judging yourself for needing a lot of rest. Just doing what you need to do. But definitely, if you've been feeling like you've been sleeping on the job, wake up. Guardian Angel, here to help you in this pause. We got Hanged Man, you know. We got Five of Wands for Divine Masculine. We are not going anywhere on the Divine Masculine side. We are stuck. We are stuck in our fear. We are stuck in our anxiety. We are stuck in our material worth energy. We are worried about protecting ourselves. We are overwhelmed by feelings. We are strong. We're soul searching, but we are stuck. Divine Feminine, you're not stuck. You have slowed down Eight of Wands energy, motion slowed down, but you're slowing the roll because of the strategy. And so is Divine Masculine, by the way. Divine Masculine is slowing the roll because of his strategy. That's what Seven of Swords means. And the King of Swords wields the strategy. And he's keeping things hidden in secret because he wants to surprise Divine Feminine to a certain extent with how much he's transformed and changed. It's not completely, a bad thing. It's just annoying because it's like, okay, already, just do it. Don't be afraid and just do it. But he's slowing the roll down because he's wanting to control the flow, right? He's wanting to be more strategic. He's wanting to see the target, not just aim at it blindly with Knight of Wands energy. So he's not doing this to be malicious. He's not doing this to piss you off. He's not doing this because he's a bad person or because he's weak. He's not weak. He's strong. He's doing this because he is loving, kind, compassionate, just, honest, brave, true. He's in the light. He's doing it because of his fate and his destiny, which he's even chafing at. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like to hear you cry or feel you're upset. The pause is necessary. A pause is a moment for reflection, for appreciation, which moves you and shifts you so quickly towards the thing that you desire. So don't chafe at this energy, Divine Feminine. Don't be triggered. Don't be triggered, self. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. This is the card that fell on the floor, and wait till you fucking see it. Life is always in motion, so I cannot be stuck. You're not stuck, right? Divine Feminine is unstuck, as we decided to call it. Is that a word? I don't know. It is when I say it. It is not possible to stand still or be stuck because energy and therefore life is always in motion. Things are always changing. The reason it may feel to you as if you are stuck is because while you are continuing to think the same thoughts, things are changing, but they are changing to the same thing over and over and over. So Divine Feminine has figured it out. She knows it. She's like, as long as I continue to think about a Divine Masculine that's not coming towards me because he's afraid and because of whatever, and as long as I continue to think that maybe I made it up and it's not even real, and as long as I continue to think this, I'm stuck. So I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to. I'm going to release my attachment to the specific iteration. I'm going to turn my back on the journey. I'm not going to be watching readings every second of the day. Bye. You've been a great follower. Thanks for seeing me. I mean, you can watch my readings if you want. They're not just about another person. They're about you. It's not the type of reading you click on and it's like, Divine Masculine Love Letter. Believe me, I listen to those. I love those. It's like, I just wish you would say these things to me. No, it's not that type of reading. This type of reading is we read the Divine Masculine side and then we're like, bitch, you're slowing down. Bitch, you're hiding. You're afraid. You're strategizing. You're trying to figure shit out. You're trying to surprise the world. You're afraid. You're attached. You're confused. You're overwhelmed. So keep watching mine. But no, don't. If it triggers you, do not. Click off. Because if you're thinking the same, if you come away from my reading and you're thinking the same things that you were thinking before you went into my reading, you didn't get any new ideas or any new thoughts or any new desires, stop watching them. Because you're going to just keep perpetuating. You're going to wake up and have the same experience every day. We switched the whole view, right? There's some things that are still the same. We've got my anchors still with us. There's elements that were from the other angle of my room. Now we have even more piano energy. I like that. But it's still me, but it's a new perspective, right? There's more light shining on me. I took my star cards yesterday and very seriously. You're not stuck. You just keep thinking the same things again and again and again. A personal issue reaches resolution. This is Cancer energy, so this probably has something to do with the home, family. Obviously, it could be love relationships. And whatever that is, it reaches resolution. And this was in its reverse. So to me, that means it's present tense. A personal issue has reached a resolution. Maybe you're not even aware that you've solved this problem, but it's been solved. Be bold and make the first move. This is emphasized. This has nothing to do with a specific iteration of Divine Masculine because your headspace was clear, honey. Your King of Pentacles was in reverse. It's like, I am not making any bold first moves towards any specific iterations. I am making a bold move towards myself. I'm choosing me with this 2 of Swords in reverse. Me. And as I make my first bold move, what does that look like for you? For me, it looks like I shuffle all the cards and put them away and listen to the reading and get the messages from the reading that I just did because I'm not even here and I don't even remember what I said until I watch it again. Get all the messages I need, reflect upon the journey that I'm on, and then go directly to my studio and make music. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Finish your record before the end of March. That's my bold move. Also, one of my bold moves was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to make money, but I'm just going to do my record and I'm going to trust that I'm going to get money while that's happening. And so far, that's been true. I just found out I was part of a Lyft lawsuit. Like, I joined a class action lawsuit against them. And because of Prop 22, they're settling all of these lawsuits because they don't want to get bad press. But they should, because Prop 22 that was passed in California is terrible for everyone. But regardless, they settled with my attorneys. So I'm going to make my record. Anyway, have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your dreams. Believe that your dreams, they are multifaceted also, right? Your dreams, I think and hope, if you're here and have been here for a while, that your dreams include a partner, but they don't necessarily end at that partner. In fact, I really hope they do not. They really, that's just this part. You're just like, I want to do this, and I want to share it with this person because this person will enjoy this too and really like to see me in this energy and really want to be with me on that journey. But really, my dreams are much more layered and complex and multifaceted. Break the chains, ancestral patterns, and rewriting the future. Remember, this is what you are doing. You are breaking the chains. You are healing old wounds. It takes a lot of energy and strength because when you're breaking ancestral patterns, that means you were born into a family with these limiting beliefs. You could have had like I was just talking to my friend yesterday about how my dad was always like, oh, the people in my very small town of 5,000 people, like, oh, no one likes our family. Like, everybody's against us. And I always be like, really? Like, really, Dad? you know, like anything that happened, he'd be like, it's because of who we are. And I would be like, oh. And then, like, his brother was the same. I remember having a conversation once with my uncle on the phone, calling him after I had returned from Los Angeles working in the music industry. And he was just complaining and complaining that the only reason that he never had any success in music was because of who he was. And I was like, didn't you move to Florida? Like, you don't even live in our town anymore. No one in Florida knows who our family was. And I mean, to be fair, my dad's side of the family is descended from Mohawk. We have no paper because they like papers on our tribal connections because they kept it hidden because they passed. But my uncle of the members of my dad's side of the family looked more indigenous than others. So he probably did experience that. But it was just this thing that we grew up with in our town, like that my dad was like this. And then my mom's side of the family was like, they owned a restaurant and they were bougie. So it was just like a weird way to grow up. Like one side of the family was like the other side of the tracks and we were looked down upon. And then my mom's side of the family was kind of like, I don't know, people also didn't like them because they were rich, even though they were not. They just appeared that way because they owned a fairly successful business. But it's just like I grew up with that, and then so I thought like, oh, I can't get things because of this. And those ideas and those beliefs, those come from the people who bring us into the world, and they tell us this from a young age, and they color all of our interactions, and they create conflict within us because they're not true, they're someone else's truths. And then you have to kind of work them out and figure out how to prove to yourself that it's not true. All right, from the Colette Baron Reed deck, the Spirit Animal Oracle that I'm learning, we're getting the White Raven Spirit card, Trust in the Magic, and I love this card. Nothing in the universe is random, for the intricate web of co creation weaves together all events and has done so since the beginning of time. Coincidences have meaning, and White Spirit appears to remind you to pay attention to these synchronicities so that you might recognize patterns. Even the winds dance in a pattern, participating in the magic of Spirit's plan for all. Align with the highest good and intentions, and you will come to see what White Raven is guiding you, an ally to you, and a messenger from Spirit. Align with the light, and you will start to recognize that all is working together harmoniously in ways the eye can't always see and the mind can't always comprehend. The universe is conspiring on your behalf right now, drawing you to the light and bringing you the magic and miracles that are your birthright. Now is the time to trust in the magic of the world that is everywhere and in all things. Pay attention to how things come together as if by magic, and you will see the hand of Great Spirit arranging things in your favor. And I can tell you that for my journey, and this, of course, is 66 card with that repeating number, my journey, for sure, you have to trust in the magic of my journey because it's super unique. And there clearly is a hand of the divine in that journey for me. Now, interestingly, divine masculine, you got a very reasonable amount of oracles, so you're doing pretty well. You are in the light attributes of damsel energy, which is understanding the nature of healthy romance and inspiring you to rely upon yourself. So you are no longer seduced by romantic illusion. You're starting to really embrace that this overwhelming feeling that you were getting came from the fantasies that you were creating. This is what confused you. This is what caused confusion between the two of you, that there was this romantic illusion, this damsel and knight energy. I mean, obviously, it's what the tarot looks at. It's these very like archetypal images associated with this process. So you were in that romantic illusion, and you were trying to be the knight that would sweep in, or waiting for someone to provide for you to be able to do this also. Like you were kind of alone and waiting in your damsel energy too for somebody to save you, for divine feminine to save you. But you're understanding now the nature of healthy romance. You're letting go of the codependencies, issues with codependencies you've had. So you're relying on yourself and not on the divine feminine anymore. And you're really in the light of that. And that's beautiful. You get this frequently. You're getting a blank archetype card. I leave one in the deck. There's some that you can fill in yourself, but I leave this one in, and this represents that you are a blank slate, that you can master your own fortune, that you can fill this in with light and shadow as you so choose. But right now, you're at zero. This is the Fool energy. This is zeroing out past experiences and really being able to make your own future. So, this is trying to give you the confidence you're lacking where you're feeling you're not the master of your fortune. By asking, you are creating your destiny. And you are inspired to ask by the divine, right? So it's a feedback loop. St. Catherine of Alexandria, the marriage card, and appearing also with the Hierophant energy for divine feminine. So we do have a sense here of either a divine couple who one or both has been previously married, or in a serious commitment. It doesn't have to be a traditional marriage, although it does suggest it is because of the Hierophant energy. But for divine masculine, this is about support in regards to this, either in past or future, if you're intending to move forward towards marriage, or you have fears of commitment, or there's anything in regards to marriage that you are experiencing. St. Catherine is here to support you with that. Absolute well-being is the basis of my universe. I just saw 1:11:22 on the clock. Well-being is the basis of all that is. It flows to you and through you. You only have to allow it, like the air you breathe. You only have to open, relax, and draw it into your being. Just have to open. It's the natural state of things. It is not natural to be in a state of resistance. It is natural to open. When you feel resistant, to go into that place and open it. That's what yoga is. When you are practicing yoga, you realize at some point in time that what you're doing is you're very mindfully feeling specific muscle groups, focusing on them with energy, and telling them, relax, release, relax, release as you're breathing into that muscle group. Eventually, you open and you can stretch deeper and deeper as you consciously co-create with your muscles. Like you have control over this. There's an autonomic system going on in your brain. It's making sure you can move your body and all these things are happening, taking place. Yes. But you have the ability to tap into that process and to open things. And yoga teaches you to do that through focused meditation, breath control. The end of a tough cycle approaches divine masculine. So you can start to relax and open. Your Council of Light is here to remind you of the help that you're getting in subtle realms and that there is divine orchestration taking place. We are getting the 11 card again. And Butterfly Spirit. Last time we got the protection message. Today we're getting the oracle message of Butterfly Spirit. Joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative in the world is the focus when Butterfly Spirit flutters before you. Transformation is inevitable as you grow into your most beautiful, empowered self. Indeed, you will go through some uncomfortable stages as you let go of the forms of your life that no longer fit the new you. Even relationships must go through shifts to match your new emerging self. If you focus on the beauty and not the challenges, stop taking yourself too seriously and choose to be playful, loving, and joyous, you will soon know the miracle your soul wants to experience through you. Today is a day for joy, so alight. Look around and see the beauty that is everywhere and in everyone, including you. So during this uncomfortable process, just focus on the beauty of what you're becoming as you're transforming and as this union is transforming. Yes, it's uncomfortable. There's moments that are not fun, but overall, wow, y'all are getting a trickster again. You got this yesterday. So this is transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behaviors. And the shadow attribute is manipulating others through duplicity. So I think this is just a reassurance, divine feminine to you in particular, I'm feeling. Divine masculine is not trying to manipulate you or be duplicitous at all. There is an unpredictability to what is happening between you. There's a trickster energy. It's not going to be traditional, it's not going to be conventional, it's going to be open and outside of the box. And this is Mercury in retrograde energy too, right? Trickster energy, like the gremlin in the machine. Things that cause you to pause, wait, postpone. If you're trying to buy something on a shopping app and it just like won't work, stuff like that, and you're like, why isn't this happening? Mercury in retrograde increases those events because there are moments for you to reflect. Is buying this really in alignment with my authentic code? Do I have fears about receiving this item and that's why it's not going through? There are reasons that these things happen during this energetic time. It's permission from the universe for communication to occur between the deep inner wounds you have and your consciousness. And so, if you're very mindful of all these signs going on around you, you can work with this trickster energy. But both of you are acting unpredictably. You are not acting like you always act. Divine masculine has been in this place before, and divine feminine has been in this place before. Divine masculine, when he's been in this place before, divine feminine has fucking panicked. She's gone nuts. She's been like, I'm walking him, I don't care, I'm leaving, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm not dealing with this, like, this is fucked up. Right? Divine masculine, when he sees divine feminine, this energy is like, she doesn't love me, she's going to choose someone else, she's better than me already, she's going to get even more better than me, and I can't even do it, like, I can't keep up with her, like, I don't know what to do, I better do something fast, I'm going to go into my Knight of Wands energy, I'm going to sweep her off her feet so that she focuses on me again, because if she's not focused on me, that means she doesn't love me, and I have to deal with my fucking abandonment issues by myself. But you're not doing that. Divine masculine is being like, well, I gotta slow this down and I gotta go safely and carefully. I gotta make sure I'm healed. I gotta stop fighting myself. I don't want to bring that energy and those burdens, anything I have from my past, into this relationship. I don't want to bring the burden of my own fantasy. I want to be realistic. I want to choose what's best for me and choose what's best for my union. And I gotta be quiet and I gotta be silent because I don't want divine feminine to get distracted and I don't want to say anything that's gonna make her feel insecure. And divine feminine is like, my divine masculine isn't saying anything, and instead of being insecure, I'm just going to focus on myself and do my thing and not let this rule my life and not feel triggered and not feel like I have to retaliate against him because he's not doing anything to me. This is new energy for the two of you. You don't usually act like this. Congratulations. You should get an A. Here's the Hierophant to give you your diploma for having learned these higher lessons. Your guardian angel is here to help you accept your reward. There's an important reward. There could be a real life reward that's coming. Like somebody being like rewarding you for something you've done. And your divine, the guardians are here to support you during that process. And it's going to be one that you receive together as well. There's an emphasis here. This, because you're willing to transcend convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior, you are going to be together in receipt of this reward. That, it's like a statement. There's something about that being a statement. Only I know what is appropriate for me. When you remember that everyone who asks is given, then how wonderful and appropriate it is for you to make the choices for you. For the universe operates much more efficiently without a middleman interceding on your behalf. You always know in the moment what is best for you. People ask me questions in tarot all the time. Should I do this or should I do that? I can't answer that question for you. If you ask me, should I do that? I'm not going to give you a response, yes or no. I will tell you what your energy looks like in regards to it. I will tell you what your fears are in regards to it, but then you have to make the choice for what you feel is best, balancing your fears and your beliefs. I can't tell you what is best for you. I have no fucking idea. I am not you. We share energy, but I am not you. I have a totally different astrological chart. Hopefully, you don't have my astrological chart. It's a pain in the ass. You probably got your own pain in the ass astrological chart. A new start is coming. And when I get a reversal on this, it's like, bitch, it's here. New start, you're in it. You're in it. That's why things aren't predictable. That's why things aren't going like they always go. This is not how things always go for me. I'm experiencing a whole lot of silence from my DM energy. And what did I do? I rearranged my whole space to make it more conducive for me to be a star. That's not my MO. My MO is usually like, I don't know what is happening, and like I don't know if he like really cares about me, and like maybe I just made it up, and so like I'm just gonna like smoke a lot of weed and eat a lot of pizza and watch the Housewives all day, and like I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I just want to be with someone, and I'm just gonna go on Tinder, and then I don't, because I never want to do that again. So I just cried and eat pizza. But I didn't do that. I redesigned my entire space, made it look awesome, packed stuff I don't need, got a box of donation stuff I don't need. I got a lot more to do. I got to do my shrine today. I got to figure out my kitchen situation now because that is just not looking good in there right now. I got some shit to do for the rest of the day. It's going to keep me focused. It's going to keep me determined. I got to get into my studio and work on music today. That's the requirement of my day, right? My new start is here. I don't act like I acted before. I did have pizza last night, but it's because I worked all day. I worked hard. I deserve pizza, and it was good, let me tell you. And I got plenty leftovers. I'm going to eat it again. Star Mother, how can you mother yourselves? You always get this card. Number one, I think you have protection from Mary and mothering and maternal energy. And number two, I think you need nurturing and you need kindness and compassion. You need protection, security that mothering energy provides. I think the two of you definitely have distorted mothering energy in your trauma between the two of you. And so this is what is being healed. And finally, we're getting it's 122. Wow, this is a long reading. Dragonfly Spirit, Truth. Oh, I love this. Truth transcends illusion. Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as a dragonfly catches your eye with its reflective wings and body, Dragonfly Spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. In the realm of spirit, there's far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you are not separate or alone, for a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate as you realize you are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to have the experience it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay attention to the signs now. They remind you that each of us have inspired dreams seamlessly sewn into the fabric of the invisible world, and there is a great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces guiding us on our journey. Open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights your conscious mind overlooks. That is beautiful. I love the great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces. That's very poignant to me right now. And that was a 22 card. So we had 66 and 22 and 11 from the animal spirits. So yeah, that literally just told us to pay attention to those things. Those things are these little glimpses of spirit, right? Finally, let us close with a goddess. Whoa! Oh no. I love this goddess, but I really have such a hard time with her name. Yeah, god damn. All right, so I like to close the readings with a divine feminine goddess energy because we do need to balance divine feminine energy in our lives, in the world, in this culture. We have really only focused on divine masculine energy and God energy, and many of the major faiths and practices do not honor the divine feminine. So, in order to bring balance to that suppressed and oppressed feminine inside of ourselves and make it okay to have emotions, and make it okay to be intuitive and to do things intuitively and to trust your intuition and to be nurturing and to be kind and to be compassionate and to not want to hurt others and cause, and just act in vengeance and all the things that divine feminine mother energy excels in. You can use any feminine energy for this from any modality that you practice. I just read a different goddess from different cultures, and so that we have an awareness that this energy has existed throughout time. It's been honored by many traditions, and it's only recently that we have really worked so hard to suppress it, actually. And then I'm gonna butcher this name. Please forgive me. And if anyone is Aztec, and one time I drove a Lyft passenger who was Aztec, and she was giving me the tea on pronunciations, and girl, I'm definitely not gonna be able to pronounce this. So, Letzotl is a Toltec Earth. Look at how you spell this girl's name. Letzotl is a Toltec Earth Mother, the goddess of carnal love and desire. Like Kali in India, she's portrayed as a horrible, devouring figure, yet is also honored as a moving, creative principle. She's sometimes pictured as four sisters, the four ages of woman, who are present at the crossroads of one's life. Letzotl is best known as the eater of impurities. Once in a lifetime, a person confessed her worst deeds and sins to Letzotl, holding back nothing. In return, the confessor received absolution. No impurity or defilement was too great to be forgiven. Letzotl is that deep part of ourselves that we fear because it is so powerful and unfamiliar. Yet when we touch her through her fearsome countenance, we find absolute mercy. She is proof that anything that can overwhelm and destroy us also has the power to heal and grant forgiveness. And so she's, the ancient source of the modern day practice of reconciliation in the Catholic Church. Um, and this is such an integral part of humanity. And it was here with the judgment card and its reversal today, with the divine masculine seeking the absolution that no impurity or defilement is too great to be forgiven. And that is what that goddess mothering energy is like, right? There's nothing that can be forgiven. I thought before, as a mother, like, what if my son committed a murder? What if he did this? What would you do? I love true crime stuff. I watch serial killer stuff all the time. And I'm like, what if your kid is a serial killer? Like, how do you deal with that? You can't, because for me, I'm a mother. I would be like, wow, Ted Bundy, you are super, super messed up, but I still love you because you're my child. The odds they did have that energy in their lives very slim, because what we know about serial killers is that they did not usually have the appropriate nurturing environment that was necessary for them to develop and grow, and they became very lost in that. And so the likelihood of that individual having that very slim. But I've asked myself as a mother before, what would I do? And I would be like, I'd be there. I'd be there for my son. I don't know. I would be very disturbed, but it's my child. Somebody has to love him. That's mothering energy. Doesn't matter what you've done. You're forgiven. You're absolved because your mother, a healed, balanced, healthy version of your mother, sees you always through the eyes of Source and forgives you for all you have done. All right, 44 I just saw. Kylie's going to smack me after saying that. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Please like, subscribe, share, click notifications. Follow me on Instagram so you can see when I'm going live. I usually post a time lapse with the songs that I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, so you can get the messages from the music that accompany the themes that come up with the cards each day. There are many fun things in the works, but the thing that I'm focused on the most right now, as I said, is making my record. So I'm going to be focused on that. But I'm available for readings at tunedintarot at gmail.com. You can email me if you have any questions you want answered. That's where you'll find me. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely day today. Take care.